In this video, I'm going to go through how to set up the Harbor Freight saw blade sharpener. There is quite a learning curve to be able to get it to where you can get your blades nice and sharp. Hopefully this video will lower your learning curve. The first thing you're going to want to do is take a look at your saw blades. Not all the blades are sharpened the same. If you look closely, every other blade is slightly different. This means you'll sharpen every other blade, then readjust the machine and sharpen the other set of blades. I usually take a pencil and mark every other blade. It's visually easier to keep track of which blade you're sharpening. If you do accidentally sharpen them all the same, you could end up with these teeth marks like this in your wood. If you grind it correctly, it'll look like this. Even if you do sharpen it wrong, it'll still cut better, just not as good as if you sharpened it correctly. This blade was sharpened incorrectly. One side of the blade will cut nice and clean. See how clean this is? And on the other side, you'll see that it's blurry, almost a pebbly look. But it still cuts a lot better than it did when it was dull. You could take that blurry edge and then use a jointer, and then it'll look nice, but if the blade is sharpened correctly, it'll look nice on both sides of the cut. Let's take a look at how to set this machine up. You'll put the blade on the machine here, then put the cone that aligns, you'll put a spring, a washer, and then the handle. Turn the handle until you start to hear a creaking sound, and that'll be good enough. This stiffening rod goes underneath the blade to support the blade. It should glide very close to the bottom of the blade. If there's a gap here, you want to adjust it until it touches the blade. Once it's adjusted properly, go ahead and tighten up the nut so it's nice and tight. You want this stiffening rod to be as close to the edge of the saw blade as you can get it as well. When it's correct, it'll move just like this. This will help keep the blade stable. You can see how stable it is from the top. Now it's time to get the diamond wheel to match the old kerf. And remember, every other blade has a different kerf. There's a lot of delicate adjustments to make this right. A magnifying glass is not a bad idea. A bright light is also a good idea. You can adjust the blade in and out. This will help you get the diamond wheel in the correct position. Just keep moving the diamond wheel in and out until you can see and feel the drag of the diamond wheel on the blade correctly. This adjustment down here adjusts the angle of the diamond wheel. In order to match the tooth, just move it back and forth until it fits. This stop here will restrict the diamond wheel so it doesn't damage your blade. This will allow you not to go too far into the blade. As you move the diamond blade back and forth, it'll stop it before it damages anything. This blade cam restrictor is pretty challenging to get it just right. This will lock the blade from moving forward or reverse. It also keeps your cut very consistent. Just use your Allen wrench until you can adjust it so it fits in both directions. I would say this adjustment is probably the trickiest adjustment. It is possible to lock the blade so it can't move forward or backwards. The flat part of the rod will hit the tooth and the edge will hit the other tooth. And the diamond wheel is locked into its exact cut. Now you can advance the saw blade and lock it into its exact next cut. And of course, remember, we're sharpening every other blade. Now we have the diamond wheel completely matched to the old surface of the blade. And the blade is locked so it can't move backwards or forwards. Now we have everything all set up to start grinding every other tooth. I like clamping everything down with a C-clamp. Now you can turn on the machine, click it into place, and then drag the blade across the tooth. Just take the cut nice and slow. You want to take off as little carbide as you can. That way the blade will last longer. As you can see, we're sharpening every other tooth. Then we'll readjust and then cut the other teeth. Click it into place, hold it, and then drag the diamond wheel over the tip. It's also a good idea to make a mark of where you started. That way when you get around to the other side of the blade, you know where to stop. So these are the basics on how to use this saw sharpener to correctly sharpen your saw blades. Each one of these high quality saw blades costs about $80, and the machine is about double that. So if you sharpen 2 blades, you're able to make back your investment. Plus, we find that we have sharper blades more often. But you have to remember, there is a learning curve to this. And of course, you probably don't want to tell too many people that you have one of these, or you'll be sharpening everybody's blades. Let's go ahead and pull this blade off. We'll put it on the saw and show you a cut. We labeled this blade not very sharp. Now this blade is cutting really nice. It moves through the saw really nice, and when we're done, you can see it's nice and clean. Now we can scratch off the knot and leave very sharp on the blade. Well, I hope you have found this video useful, or at least entertaining. And if you did enjoy the video, please give the video a thumbs up. I'd appreciate it, and I'll see you next time.